Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seishem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
What you got, Chuck? Well, we are continuing to be sharing our Shabbat service with you via Zoom and YouTube. So, hello. It's lovely to see you. Every week we have a bar or bat mitzvah family. They join us in the Zoom room. This week happens to be the Keller family, which is interesting because we have the same last name. So my name is Keller and their name is, wait a second, what? Yes, the middle one in the video, in the Zoom. The one on the end is also mine. They are both mine. Aviv is becoming a bar mitzvah. We're very excited. Lior is over there. He's 9, and there's my wife Lisa. Hello. And so we are in the Zoom room. We're in the same room, by the way, but in different Zooms. So it's just it's less squishy. We're just giving you an insight into how we arranged our room today. So the Freudenbergers were smart and are all in one room. So they're really, look at them. They're much more organized than the Kellers. But we're in 2 Zoom rooms. So hoping that you are beginning to enter Shabbat thoughtfully, taking a breath, leaving the previous week where it was, moving into the peacefulness and the sweetness of Shabbat, which I hope you are doing. If you have a Siddur, a prayer book, great. If you do not, you can use our virtual prayer book. All you have to do is go to our website, cbiboca.org. Go to the top of the page. It says worship. Under worship, it says Shabbat. Under Shabbat, there is a link that says prayer book. And when you get to that page, make sure you pick the one that says Shabbat, because there's also a weekday one. Don't use the weekday one because it's Shabbat. And then you'll be able to pray along with us and chant along with us and sing along with us and be part of our service using that link to our virtual prayer book. We're going to continue with lighting of Shabbat candles. Pleasure to call upon Lisa Keller to light those candles for us. We're on page 2 if you're following along with either the virtual or the regular Siddur, page 2.
Can you see my candles? Kinda. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. So now that we are in it, now we are in Shabbat together, we can continue to move forward into Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of our Shabbat bride into our presence, to hang out with us, to enhance all aspects of our 25 hours together. Everything should taste better, all the music should sound better, the rest should be more restful. And so it is, we're going to start to invite her into our midst with Lecha Dodi, which is on page 12. Woo, that was fun. We have a bunch of kind of new tunes, little different nigunim we're going to use on this Friday night. And that was from a really cool band called Soul Aviv. So not only is the kid's name is Aviv, but it's a really catchy tune. And we don't do Lechuna Ranana enough, I feel like. We are not Lechuna Ranananing quite enough here. So
we're going to work on it. How about that? Challenge accepted.
Yeah, we should do some more Lechuna Ranananing. Don't you think? Can you say that 5 times fast? Lechuna Ranananing? You're not even going to try,
I will
are
do
you?
it. I'll do it on mute.
Oh, great. We're going to continue now in our Kabbalat Shabbat, accepting, welcoming our Shabbat bride with Shiru Ladonai, which is on page 13.
Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shemo, Basru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Now, ay, 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 ay,
Fabulous. A little Sol Aviv to begin. Now a little Karbach afterwards. A little Shlomo. Oh, love a little good Shlomo on Kabbalat Shabbat. Can't beat him. We were living in Jerusalem. There's a place that just does like Friday night, all Karbach, and it's amazing. Everyone's jumping up and down. It's really great, but eventually. We're going to continue now with Lecha Dodi. We're going to be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. 9, as you know, is the place where we would be standing if we were standing. But since we're at home, again, like we have been doing for months, it is up to you if you wish to remain seated. It's okay. Or if you wish to stand up, that is also up to you. So Lecha Dodi is on page 20 in our Sidurim. And again, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor L'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'makshavat zehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret b'hala gam besimcha uv'sohala toch emunei am segula. Boi chala boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Kabbalah.
So with our connection now with the Shabbat bride, as we have been entering and accepting Shabbat and Kabbalat Shabbat, we're going to transition now with the great transitioner, which is any of our Kaddishes. So we continue with Chatzi Kaddish now to transition us into the middle part of our service. That's on page 26.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba Be'alma divrach irutei Ve'yamlik malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon Uv'chayetecho bet Yisrael Ba'gala ba'gala Uv'izman kariv V'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'alam Ulam Me'amaya Yitzbarach Yitzbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei T'Kodesha B'rihu Leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata tamiran be'alma v'meru amen.
We continue now with the Baruch Hu, and once again, in our home version of doing our services rather than our sanctuary version, it is up to you. This would be a time for you to stand if you'd like for the Baruch Hu, or you can remain seated, but whatever you're comfortable to do at your house. We're using home rules right now. So we continue with the Baruch Hu on page 28. We thank God for making night with Ma'ariv Aravim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on the bottom of page 33. And if we were together, which we're not, but if we were together, we would alternate paragraphs, but I'll just do them. So I could do different accents if you want. So it seems like we're two different. No, yeah, you want me to try different accents? No, I'm just gonna read it. Yeah, okay. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Continue with Shema 34:35.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
We continue on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בית ביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו תותפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ואתם קדושים לכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Well done, Bar Mitzvah boy. Good job. We continue now on page 39. Top paragraph on page 39.
Oh, Mr. Q.
Yes.
So hard. Sorry, a second. 150. Sorry, Mr. Q.
Okay. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands marching together.
We continue now with our Song of Redemption, Mi Chamocha, that is on page 40. When the rabbis were traveling from wherever they were in the evening, maybe from their synagogues home, it was dark. They didn't have the street lights and the lights on their cars in that time period, and so they sought to pray for a peaceful canopy, that when they went to sleep, that when they walked in the darkness, when they went to bed, and in preparing to hopefully have a peaceful sleep and wake up refreshed and renewed, they prayed for God to place over them this canopy of shelter, this canopy of peace, this canopy of love. And so we continue asking for that for all of us, for all these days. Hashkivenu on page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We continue now with a very upbeat, lively, and very happy version of Veshamru, woo, which is on page 44 in your Sidurim.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat lasot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
I love a little Rothblum. He's fun. I feel like, did you feel like it's is it a Misinai tune? I feel like that's the Veshamru version, right? I think, so we'll tell you, so a Misinai, so like from Sinai, there's this idea that some tunes to some prayers or blessings right? They're like everyone knows them, no matter where you're from, or you're like, sometimes you go to a synagogue and they're like, you're doing the wrong tune. It's not what they did in my place. But you never get that from Vishamru, because Rothrum's tune sort of seems like the only way you do Vishamru. So although it wasn't from God, it was from Rothblum, how I feel like lived in Phoenix. I feel like he lived in, I feel like he lived in Phoenix. I used to work in Phoenix. I feel like he lived in Phoenix. I don't know. Too bad this isn't being sent out to hundreds of people and going to be recorded. Oh no, wait, by my mistake, if possibly this is wrong. But anyway, everyone loves a little good Vishamru and Rothblum. We continue with the Amidah now. Again, same piece of information. Typically, we'd be standing right now, but it is up to you in your home, doing the home version here of our Shabbat service. We're on page 46.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekone Hakol, Vezocher Chaste Avot Veimahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofe holim, umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi hamocha ba'al gevurot umidom melach. Melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'hol yom yechalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We take some time now for our own silent prayers and thoughts and meditations, and we continue silently now here from page 52 through page 62.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני סורי וגואלי אדוני סורי וגואלי May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני סורי Adonai suri vego
So for those of you who have made me, who have heard me speak before, I often quote a rabbi named Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, who was the former rabbi, the former official rabbi, if you will, of the UK. He wrote many books and he taught many classes. He wrote many sermons that those of us interested in Judaism anywhere, rabbis, cantors, educators, have followed him and been following his words, his teachings, his books. And so unfortunately this past week, Rabbi Sacks passed away at too early of an age. And it's been challenging for those of us who have sort of really wrapped our educational and Jewish lives around so many of his teachings. So you've probably heard me quote him many times. And so I thought it fitting tonight to share with you some words from him that, so first of all, right, so the idea of the word chassid, right, someone who is this brilliant person, someone who is an observant person, someone who is this patient and kind person. So one could really think of him that way. And also, interestingly enough, today is World Kindness Day. So I think that fits really interestingly into how things work out in this world. And so I wanted to share with you one of his great teachings about this week's Torah portion. So in 1966, an 11-year-old black boy moved with his parents and family to a white neighborhood in Washington. Sitting with his two brothers and two sisters on the front step of the house, he waited to see how they would be greeted. They were not. Passers-by turned to look at them, but no one gave them a smile or a glance or any recognition at all. All the fearful stories he had heard about how whites treated blacks seemed to come true. Years later, writing about those first years in their new home, he says, this person who was talking, I knew we were not welcome here. I knew we would not be liked. I knew we would have no friends. I knew we should not have moved there. So as he was thinking that in his youth, a white woman coming home from work passed by them on the other side of the road. She turned to the children and with a broad white smile, she said, "Welcome." Disappearing into her house, she emerged minutes later with a tray laden with drinks and cream cheese and jelly sandwiches, which she brought over to the children, making them feel at home. That moment, the young man wrote later, changed his life completely. It gave him a sense of belonging where there was no one before, and it made him realize at a time when race relations in the US were still fraught that a black family could feel at home in a white area. The young man who I'm talking about, quoted in help from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Zichrono Livracha, may his memory be for a blessing. The young man, Stephen Carter, eventually became a law professor at Yale. And he wrote a book about what he learned that day. And the book is called Civility. The name of the woman, he tells us, was a woman named Sarah Kestenbaum. He adds that it is no coincidence that she was a religious Jew. In Jewish tradition, he writes, such civility is called chesed, the act of doing kindness, which in turn derive from the understanding that human beings are made in the image of God. Stephen Carr went on to say, I can close my eyes and feel on my tongue the smooth, slick sweetness of the cream cheese and the jelly sandwiches that I gobbled up that summer afternoon when I discovered how a single act of kindness, a single act of genuine and unassuming civility can change someone's life forever. And so it fits perfectly, I think, for this week's Torah portion, Chayei Sarah, which means the life of Sarah, about this one moment, perhaps this defining moment of kindness that can change someone's life or someone's trajectory of life. So if you know the Torah portion, Chayei Sarah, Sarah dies, and so, which is difficult for all of us. Abraham decides that he needs a wife for his son, for Isaac. So he sends out his trusty buddy named Eliezer. We don't know his name is Eliezer yet. We find out later. He sends him out to go find him a bride. And Eliezer says, really? What am I supposed to do? How am I going to know? And Abraham said, good luck. You'll know, but make sure that you find a good bride for my son Isaac. So off he goes, and he's traveling with a big entourage of camels and people. And they arrive to a well, which, by the way, every time a well is mentioned in Jewish text, anywhere, by the way, there's a wedding. That means wedding. Anytime a well is mentioned, that means someone's going to get married. Somebody's getting married. Marriage. Okay, so back to the story. Sarah's shaking her head like, really, is this happening? Okay, so yes. So he arrives to this well, and he sees this woman sort of come towards him and really offer him and say, hey, you look thirsty. Can I get you some water? So she takes this sort of very big jug, this very big jar off of her side. She dips it into the well and she gives some water to Eliezer. And then she doesn't stop there. She goes and she waters all the camels all the people, all the camels. She gives water. It's a guess, by the way. The estimation is that she probably had to use up about 100 gallons of water it took her to be able to fill and give water to all those people, and she did it by herself. And so he got what he wanted. He needed a sign to see, who could possibly be this person for Isaac. And there it was, this lightning moment where he thought, this act of kindness, this unbelievable going out of her way, super act of kindness is exactly what he wanted. So, and in the text, right, it says chesed. And so it says that in the use of the word chesed, it's no accident that that's the characteristic clearly that was being looked for, obviously. So we should think of that also. Are we doing acts of kindness and not just doing the minimum, right? Because A, she could have just walked by. B, she could have just gave water to Eliezer, but she went even further and she gave water to all the camels. So chesed, we know, being kind. So that could include providing shelter for the homeless, food for the hungry, assistance to the poor, visiting the sick, comforting the mourners, providing a dignified place for burial. All these things that connect to Jewish life, all of these things make sense to fall under the umbrella, if you will, of chesed, this idea of kindness. And so the Torah begins with kindness, it ends with kindness, it connects us all through pieces of kindness. And so here is what Rabbi Sachs says, of blessed memory. He says, we are taught that kindness, loving kindness, chesed, is greater than tzedakah, he says. And here's why. He says, actually, in 3 ways it's better. So let's count. Let's count together. 3 different ways. The first way, he says, is that charity is done with one's money, while loving kindness may be done with one's money or without one's money. Charity is done really for the poor, while loving kindness can be done for the poor or the rich or anyone in between. And again, tzedakah, charity, is given only to the living, while loving kindness can be shown to the living and to the dead who have passed. And so those are the reasons that connect us to this idea of how wonderful loving kindness can really be. So we have these chances, not only in our daily lives, but we have, for instance, in our community at CBI, we have Feed the Community coming up. It's clearly not going to look like it's like the way we like it to look, right? But it is going to have an opportunity for us to give. So you can go to the website, by the way, and check it out, cbiboca.org, and it's there. You can still give for Feed the Community. And we can be doing so many wonderful things. By the way, the Jewish month of Kislev is coming up this week, which means that Hanukkah is coming up, which means that we can also give, and it's a season of giving. So we can also be doing that. So Rebecca goes out of her way to provide loving kindness, and we should do the same thing. And so I would like to end my little chat with you the same way that Rabbi Sachs does, and that is quoting another rabbi, another fabulous, incredible rabbi named Abraham Joshua Heschel, a rabbi who is a pretty modern rabbi who walked with Martin Luther King in Selma, and he coined the phrase "praying with my feet." And so here is the quote. The late Rabbi Joshua Heschel used to say, "When I was young, I admired cleverness. Now that I am old, I find I admire more kindness." There is a deep wisdom in those words, he says. It is what led Eliezer, that's Abraham's friend, to choose Rebecca, to become Isaac's wife, and thus the first Jewish bride, by the way. Kindness brings redemption to the world, and as in the case of Stephen Carter, it can change people's lives. So I challenge every one of us to find a way to just bring forth kindness, because you never know if you can change someone's life or their trajectory of their life just by doing that one act of loving kindness. we're going to continue now with Mishaberach, with our opportunity to share in our congregation some wishes and hopes of healing. And so for our community, we think of Addison Sullivan, Andrea Drucker, Arnold Plotsky, Barbara Pollock, Barbara Seidman, Barry Mincer, Bernard Lipsitz, Betty Ann Monash, Bobby Ross, Carol and Elliot Porwich, Carol Leader, Chana Bat David, Charlotte Kammer, Chava Leah Bat Esther, Claire Weiss, Craig Nissenwitz, Darren Levin, David Schwartz, David Winterfeld, Denise Curry Lowe, Dr. Dennis Penzel, Diraj Naal, Diane Spiro, Don Rubin, Eric Smith, Fran and Jerry Butwin, Gary Bendel, Gary Israel, Gloria Bernstein, Gloria Plotsky, Glynis Lowe, Harry Blecker, Heshi Glatt, Ina Stanley, Ira Dembro, Ira Kafka, Jacob Bootsy, Jacqueline Gould, Jay Siskin, J.C. Billor, Jennifer Kirstein Curry, John Zinn, Lauren Kaplan, Marcy, Cheryl, Margot Engel, Marilyn Mincer, Marlene Leiker, Martin Springer, Marty Blecker, Melissa Schaffner, Michael Linder, Michael Rogers, Morris Ginsburg, Naomi Kirstein, Nicole McKevitt, Norma Friel, Paulette Howard, Peter Vito D. Gianamasso, D. Gian Tomaso, Rachel Glatt, Robert Solomon, Roberta Katz, Ronald Friedman, Ronna Young, Ronnie Horn, Sarah Greenberg, Shirley Kafka, Stephen Kirstein, Tammy Werner, Trip Ravenfeld, Wendy Paskin, Valerie Levin Franklin, Zoe Lathan, and Sue Ellen Wexler. To those names, we add any name that you would like to add at this time in our chat. Please add their names as we continue with Misha Berach on page 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Our couple of announcements. I mentioned that we have our opportunity for showing up and helping our families during Thanksgiving with our Feed the Community. That is on our website, cbiboca.org. Also, Hanukkah is around the corner. Like I mentioned, this week starts the 1st of Kislev, the month that houses Hanukkah. So that is not that far away, believe it or not. And so we're going to have a whole lineup for you prepared of all kinds of things that we can be doing, some virtual stuff and one night in person, actually. So if you're interested in joining us in person, there's going to be a registration sheet to come onto campus and light the candle. And obviously we're going to have physical distancing and masks and checking temperatures and all of those things. But so that's coming up. Anything else, Sarle? What am I missing?
Did you announce Aviv's bar mitzvah?
Oh yeah, so tomorrow, 10 o'clock, this kid here on the screen over here, Aviv.
Yeah, I guess just a minor announcement.
It's a minor announcement. It's minor. Great. Thank you that you have control over the Zoom. Great. Thanks. So yes, at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Aviv will be having a service. He became bar mitzvah a little earlier in late October, but he is going to be celebrating with all of us tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and we are doing our first congregational virtual bar mitzvah. So join us. It is going to be just like this on our YouTube. It's tomorrow at 10 a.m. if you want to join us and see a very similar picture of the same people here. Just tomorrow in the daylight. So that is also happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. I think that is all for our announcements. We're going to continue now with Aleinu. Aleinu is on page 282. And once again, if you wish to stand, please stand or remain seated with our home rules. Aleinu, once again, 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We transition our thoughts now to Kaddish Yatom, to Mourner's Kaddish, and we are going to think of Rachel Winnick in the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period, and our yard sites that occur for us on this Shabbat. Morton Binder, Pauline Cohen, Bruce Davis, Albert Feingold, Joy Friedman, Robert Glick, Elliot Golden, Faye Goldstein, Nathan Jaffe, Sarah Calvert, Benjamin Kaplan, William Kaufman, Ruth Klein, Edward Korn, Louis Levine, Carol Locker, Helen London, Ilka Plashis, Shirley Rauch, Murray Schwartz, Sal Shapiro, Bertha Schran, Jacob Smilowitz, Elsie Sussman, Lillian Weiner, Paul Weissman, Esther Zaidman, and we of course think of those as this past week was the 82nd anniversary of Kristallnacht. And so we also think of those in our larger Jewish community who perhaps have known to say Kaddish for them also. And also, of course, if you'd like to add any names of loved ones in our chat, please also do that. Also do so, please. And we continue Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitkadal v'kadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chay dechol beit Israel, bagala v'zman kariv ve'imru amen. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say amen. We are now going to continue with Kiddush. So we are turning back in our Sidurim now to page 4 and 5. Really, mostly just 5. Actually, and the bar mitzvah boy is going to be leading us in Kiddush.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Borei Peri Hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kishanu Mitzvotav V'Ratzav V'Anu V'Shabbat Kodsho V'Ahava V'Ratzon Chinchil Lanu Zikaron L'Maaseh Bereshit Ki Hu Yom Techila Lemikrai Kodesh Zecher L'Tziyat Mitzrayim Ki Banu B'Charta V'Otanu Kidashta Mikol Ha'amim V'Shabbat Kodshecha V'Ahava Uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim.
With our final piece of fun music on this Erev Shabbat, we're going to continue with Adonai Oz Lamo Iten. Really, it's we said Nava Tehillah, right? It's going to be fun and lively. We're on page Big Turn 338, is where you're going in your Sidurim. Let's give you a second to get there. 338 is where we're jumping to Adonai Oz Lamo Iten. Here we go.
Adonai Oz Lamo Iten, Adonai Yivarech et Amo. Adonai Oz Lamo Iten, Adonai Yivarech et Amo. shalom. Ahava shalom.
A special thanks to the incredible music from the whole Freudenberger crew. Thank you for the beautiful singing and the percussion in the background and little trombone going on. And of course to the fabulous Sarah. Woohoo! So thank you all. Adonai oz la'amo yuten. Adonai v'rechet amav shalom. And God gives us strength, continue to give us strength and love and peace. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Woohoo!
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Bye, everybody.